everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making some stickers using Canva, and I want to make these fun 90s inspired holographic stickers. Now, another fun thing that we're going to do in this tutorial is I wanted to just see what would happen if I cut this with my three newest to me machines. So I have my Maker 3, my Explore 3, and my Cricut Joy Extra. Because if you didn't know, Cricut claims that your Joy Extra and your Explore 3 should really only use white paper. And as you can see, I think it did okay. I'm really excited to show you how we use Canva to get some fun designs and make some really fun, unique stickers. We're also going to use Design Space to add some offsets. We'll talk about bleed as well. That way you have a good understanding of how to make your own stickers. Now, without further ado, let's get started. We're going to use Canva to make some stickers. And what's fun about this is you don't necessarily have to have a pro account. The pro account makes it easier and you get a lot more elements to choose from, but you can do this for free as well. Now you will need to sign up with Canva and you just use whatever email address you want to. Then you go over to this create button. Now I like to use 3000 by 3000 pixel design for this, just so that I'm making sure that I'm getting a really good quality image. So I choose 3000 to 3000 and I just make like a sized custom size. Now we're going to use one sticker per page so that we can size them better in Design Space, because it's easier to do it that way, and Cricut Design Space doesn't always size things correctly from using things like Canva. So just keep that in mind. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go over into the Elements tab here, and you can literally search for anything that you want to. I really like penguins, so I'm going to search for penguin. Now, you can use photos if you want to, but I find using the graphics to work a little bit better, and I'm going to go in here to search. Now, if you are somebody who does not have the pro account, you can use your filter, and you can filter down here from price to free. And then you can just close your filters, and then these will all be free elements that you can use. Now, another thing that you want to note is when doing the stickers, you don't want to use any of these ones that move. So you can go into your filters and you can also choose static for your animation, and that's going to give you all the ones that you can use for your stickers without having any movement to them, and they'll work better. So you can go through here and find whatever images that you like. I don't know that I necessarily want to do penguins. I just thought that I would show you penguins because there's a lot of different ones that you can choose from. But we'll just kind of pick this pink one here. So this is a perfect example of a great little sticker that you can use. You can add your offset in Design Space if you want to offset it, or you can just leave it as is. It's really up to you. I'll keep that one around just so that you can see how to do this with a free account. But what I want to do now is I'm going to add a page, and that way I just have more pages of images. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just clear all of this out. And I think what I want to do is let's look for like anything that might be 90s inspired. So let's see if we can find some fun 90s designs that maybe we could use for some stickers. Look at how cute some of these are. Love the colors, really, really fun. So find one that you like, and I really liked this little pager. I thought that was so stinking cute. So what I'll do is I'll make this larger so that it takes up pretty much as much of the screen as I can get it to. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and add another page. Now they have what's called magic recommendations, where I can click see all, and it's going to give me really similar designs to that one that I chose. So these are usually going to be by the same designer or very similar in style. So like we have this floppy disk, which is really fun. So again, I'll make this one really big, and then I just add a page. And you can keep doing that until you've kind of filled up as many stickers as you want to. So if you want to get out of magic recommendations, just hit this back arrow and it'll take you back to the designs that you had originally chosen. So like I love this ring pop. I think it's really fun. And what's cool about this too, some of these you can change the colors depending on how they're designed. So with this one, you can see that it's layered, so I can change the colors. So if I want like a brighter pink on this and maybe this yellow, I maybe want a brighter yellow, and then like the teal, perhaps I want it to be more like my brand teal. there you go. I changed the colors up and it's really easy to do. Now they're not all going to be like that. You can't change all the colors all the time. So like this lava lamp here, you can see that there are no layers in it because I can't change the colors. That's okay. That's not a big deal. That's just kind of one of the options when it comes to working with some of the designs here in Canva. So let me find a few more cute little 90s designs. Oh my gosh, the Tamagotchi. Please tell me that y'all had a Tamagotchi growing up. Now again, I can change the colors on this Tamagotchi if I want them to be a little more like the ring pop. So I can just change these all to those similar colors so that it's more like that ring pop. So I'll add a few more designs and then we will show you how to download them and then put them into your Cricut design space. Now, like I said, there are ways to do this where you can put multiple stickers on a sheet, and I'll link down below a video where I show you that. But for the way I wanted to make these, because I wasn't sure what sizing I wanted to go with, I wanted to make them so that I could easily put them into design space and change all their sizing. So now that I found a bunch of stickers that I like, I've got 10 pages worth, and one of them is the penguin, but like I said, we'll leave that one. What we're going to do is go to Share, and you're going to choose Download. Now, if you don't have a pro account, you will not be able to download these with a transparent background, but you can just remove that background in Cricut Design Space. But because I have Pro, which I do highly recommend, you can use transparent background, and I want to download all my pages, so I'm going to click Download. I'm going to save this into my Canva stickers folder, and I'm going to call this 90s stickers and click Save. Now, before we go to Cricut Design Space, you need to make sure that you extract your folder. If you don't, you won't be able to actually access any of these. So where it says Compress Folder Tools, you'll see this Extract All. Click that and then click Extract. Now what you'll have is a folder that has all of your images in it so that we can upload these into Cricut Design Space. So let's head over there. I'll show you how to upload. Here in Cricut Design Space, you're simply going to click Upload, and then you can choose Upload Image. Then we can drag and drop our files. I'll go ahead and start with the little penguin. I'm going to drag it and drop it. Now right here, it doesn't look like anything exciting. It just looks like the penguin. But if you don't have the Pro on this screen, you'll need to remove the background, and you can do that by just clicking the Select button and then clicking on the background. Now, because I have Pro, I'm able to download these without a background, so I don't have to do that, and I can just click Apply and Continue. You want to save this as a flat graphic and click Continue again. And then you can change the name of it if you want. You can add tags, thing like that. So I'm going to call this Pink Penguin and go ahead and click Upload. Now it's going to upload into our canvas, and they are going to upload pretty large because I made them big so that they would be good quality stickers. I'm going to go ahead and upload the rest of our designs, and I'll show you how we lay them all out onto our screen and how we set them up for stickers. Now that I have all my designs loaded into Cricut Design Space, while they're this big, I just want to show you something in case you see it on your computer and maybe you're confused by it. You'll see that they have this red exclamation point. If you click on that, it just tells you that your image is too large. And I do tend to get this low resolution warning as well, but honestly, I've never had a problem, so I pretty much just ignore it. You can totally do that as well. Now what I'm going to do is I can size all of these down pretty easily. I'm just going to select all, and I'm just going to size them down to a 5-inch width. That's just going to make it so I can see them better. We'll size them further depending on the design and like the offset and stuff. And we don't have to put offsets on these if we don't want to. This one we will need to because they're not attached. But with these, like, you don't have to do it, but you can if that's your desired look. Now, the penguin does not match. I am going to get rid of the penguin. I just downloaded to show you how to do it with like a free image. But we have these fun like 90s designs, and I think they're cute. This does not match, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. But I do want to put a offset on this one for sure, because see how thin the ring is? That's going to cause some issues with cutting and like durability of the sticker. And I would just rather have it be a little bit thicker and heavier to like fill it in, just so that it like looks nice and neat. I'll do a couple that won't have offsets just so you can see the difference. But here we're going to go ahead and choose our sticker. So we're going to use this little ring pop. I'm going to go over to offset. And with the offset, you can make this offset as large or as small as you would like to. For now, you can ignore the center of the ring. I'm going to show you how to fill that in. You want a smaller offset, you can either type in the numbers up here at the top, or you can use the little slide bar if you prefer. You do whatever works best for you and the way you want to do it. There's no wrong way, whatever works. Now I'm pretty good with this size. I think that looks fine, so I'm going to click apply. Now before we do anything else, I want you to go to your offset, make sure it's selected. Go up to your operation and change it from print and cut to basic. I want to fill this center in. I don't want it open. It's just not the look I'm going for. So I'm going to contour that image out. I have the offset selected. I clicked contour, and then all I'm going to do is just click right here, and it's going to fill that in. Now the next thing I need to do, because I don't want my offset to be this gray color, I would like it to be white so that it doesn't print any color at all and it shows the different like edge of the sticker. I'm gonna go ahead and do it like that and make it white. Now from here, what you want to do is you're going to select your ring pop and the offset, just those two items, and you're going to go down to your layers panel and you're going to choose flatten. And what flatten does is it tells Cricut Design Space that this is one piece and to only cut around the outline. So I'm just going to choose flatten. Now it will look like your offset is gone. It's because your offset is white. If you prefer to be able to see your offset, a quick little trick that I do is I go down here and click blank canvas. You can change the canvas color by using this little color selector, and you can make it any color you want so that it helps you see your offsets. So when it's white, it looks like there's no offset, and when it's blue, you can easily see that offset. It just makes it so much simpler to see. It'll also help you see if it's going to cut through any spots. Like it's going to cut this little circle out of this Tamagotchi, and I really don't want it to do that. I would rather the Tamagotchi not have that. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to simply add that offset. Now I'm going to go ahead and again size it down a bit because I think that's a bit wide. And depending on my sticker style, it will kind of depend on how big I want my offset. Some of them I prefer a little bit smaller, some I like a little bit wider. But for this one, I'm going to do a little bit of like a medium size, I would say. Now again, for this one, all I have to do is change it to white because that is already filled in. I don't have to do anything else. I can just select the Tamagotchi and the offset and flatten them. Now to leave a couple that won't have offsets so you can see, I'm going to leave the lava lamp as is, and I'm going to leave our cell phone as is, but I do think I want an offset around this one. I just think I'll like the look better. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to click offset, and I think again, that's a good size. Change the offset over here to white and go ahead and attach. So go ahead and flatten. So I'm going to go ahead and put the offsets around the other couple little creatures here, and then I'll show you how I do this 90s kid one because it's a little bit different. Now we have this 90s kid, which is a little bit different because it's wording and we've got some spacing in between. So I'm going to choose offset. And I want to make sure that this space right here touches. So if I did like a really thin offset on this, it might have some space right here, which is not what we want. So I want to make this offset a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be huge. You can really make it kind of whatever size you want. You may need to play around with it a little bit just to make sure that it holds. But as long as this is touching. Now you see this hole right here? We can use that contour option to fill it in. So I'm going to click apply. And I'm going to use that contour to fill that in. So I need to change this from print and cut to basic and then go down here to contour. And you'll see here we've got just that little hole, just fill it in, and now you've got a full space. Now again, you can really make the offset any color that you want. So if you want like a black offset, you want a purple offset, whatever it may be, do it how you want. I prefer a white, but that's just me. Then I'm going to select both of them and flatten them. Now, once you have everything set up the way you want it to with your offsets and all of that, you can either send them to the printer right now, or we can resize them, fit as many as we can on our sheet, and do all the things. So I have a print and cut template that you can get for free from my website. I'll link it down below for you, but I'm going to add that in to my design space really quickly. Here is our template, and what this basically does is it allows us to fit as many pieces of our stickers onto a sheet as we want to. Now I do need to right click on this and send this to the back, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to size my stickers onto my sheet. Now one thing I want you to note is while I could potentially put my sticker like this because it does technically fit on the page, Design Space doesn't think that it does because of this right here. This piece of my bounding box goes outside of the edges of the sticker paper. Printable area. So just keep that in mind when you're putting these on. Now that's going to be a big sticker. I don't really want it that big, and I'm probably only going to make one of these. So I'm just going to kind of shove this one up in the corner and whatever, it's fine. That one was just to show you kind of a different option. But I want to do these ones, and I think I want to do about a 2-inch sticker. So what I do is I find the smallest side and the widest and like the biggest side. Whichever is my biggest side, I make that my measurement. So I'm going to make these 2-inch stickers. Then all I do is I line them up. Now also keep in mind that even though this is technically a printable area, 10 times out of 9, Design Space doesn't let me put items in that area. I'm going to try it and just see what happens if we put some stickers like into this edge and see if it'll let us do it. But it doesn't always, and it's pretty frustrating. And I think a lot of it is the bounding boxes that cause the problem, but we're just going to kind of play around with it, figure it out. So as you can see, I'm just taking each sticker and I'm making it about 2 inches at its largest point. And then I just kind of squeak them next to each other. Now with the cell phone, I'm going to leave this one kind of a little more by itself. I'm not going to put it as close because I want to leave the bleed on for this one so that you can see what bleed does. So we're going to definitely leave the bleed on. So like putting it up here isn't really going to work because bleed pushes the color out from the edge of your sticker, and by doing so it'll bleed it into the white of that one. So I just want to kind of give that one a little more of its own space, but everything else should be fine. Same with the lava lamp. I'm going to give that one a little more of its own space and see what it does. So once I'm done here and I've got everything kind of laid out where I want it, we'll just say that it's good. It doesn't look great, but it'll do. I'm going to go ahead and hide that backing piece, and then you can select all of your stickers and you can go ahead and attach. Now, if it's going to allow us to cut it, it won't have a red line, but here it has this little red indicator, and you can see that it says that the image is too large and that I need to size it down. The reason is because it went around those bounding boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach these, and I'm going to bring this back in, and we're going to move these things in from those edges. So remember I said we couldn't go beyond this edge, and then we have this bounding box causing us problems. That's why. So I'm going to just move a few things around a little bit and try to keep them within the space that we are allotted. Now again, if this is giving you trouble, just turn it. It's fine. You can turn it so that it's back to this direction so that those bounding boxes aren't in the way. Now again, I'm just going to kind of rearrange. So I'll do that really quickly and then I'll show you what it all looks like once we've kind of pulled everything in. Now that I've pulled everything in, I almost really don't have space for this other ring pop. I could make it smaller, but I think I'll just go ahead and delete it. I could probably squeeze it in, but that's fine. So now we'll test this again and see if it'll allow us to print now that I've moved all those bounding boxes. I'm going to go ahead and select all my stickers and I'm going to attach them. Now you'll notice that since the bounding boxes weren't out of the edges, it should have let us do it. But here it's still saying that we have a little bit of an issue, that our image is too large. And it's even making us make it smaller than it was the last time. So this is one of those times where you need to sit here and really play around with your stickers and figure out what is sticking out and causing the problem. You can see here when I grab this, look at this. See where those bounding boxes are? They're up above the edge and then they're down below the edge. That's why it's causing us the problems, because this outside edge here, you can't put anything in there. Now you used to be able to, but now you can't. So we're going to go ahead and detach everything, and we just might need to size some stuff down, and that's okay. If you need an exact size sticker, then you may need to delete a few things. But for this one, I'm going to just go ahead and scooch some things in, resize a few things, see if I can just scooch stuff up a little bit, because like this beeper and the lava lamp are going to cause us problems down at the bottom. Now, if you want to know if it's going to cause you problems, the one thing that I recommend is you can hide this again, select this, and then attach them. And then you can bring your box back in and then select your stickers. And then you can see where your bounding boxes are. Now, notice that our bounding box is all within inside the inner gray area. I know this is super confusing, and welcome to Design Space and their craziness. But this is how our stickers have to be set up. That's just how it is. So now from here, I'm going to go ahead and save my design. I'm going to call these 90s stickers. And what I want to do for this is I'm going to print these all on holographic sticker paper. And then I'm going to cut these on my 3 newer machines. So I'm going to cut these on my Explorer 3, my Maker 3, and my Joy Extra, just so we can see kind of how they perform. Cricut Explorer always says it's best to use white paper, but I've done lots of different colors and never had a problem. So we'll see how it goes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click Make. Now, what we do is we're going to get these printed out, and to print them really nicely, I'm going to show you my settings. Now keep in mind this big black box isn't going to print, and neither is that red cuttable area line. So click continue, and on this screen it will show you what is actually going to print. You can kind of see it over here, but if you kind of hover over it, you'll see it larger. Now what I can do is click send to printer, and it's going to tell you that the 4 cut sensor marks and directional arrow will be printed with your design to aid in cut accuracy. Whatever, it's fine. Click next. From here, you want to select the printer that you want to use. Now, I use an Epson ET2720. That printer is no longer made, so I'll link the next viable model down below. But I absolutely love my Epson. It does such a good job. I want to make sure that I turn on the bleed, because remember I said that these stickers here don't have that white offset. So if our sticker is cut slightly off, it'll show edge around it, like a clear edge or like the holographic edge. And we don't want that, so I just add a little bit of bleed. Now what you also want to do is make sure that you turn on your system dialog. That is going to open up some printer settings. Now when I click print, it's not going to send it to the printer. It's going to open up those dialog settings so we can make sure we get a really good print. In your printer settings, you want to make sure you have the correct printer selected, and then you're going to go to preferences. Under your preferences, I want you to make sure portrait is selected. I see a lot of people have a problem with that, so definitely check your orientation. And then for me, I have to change my paper setting to make sure that I get a really nice paper, or a look to my paper. And depending on which one I use, depends on which setting I use. So with my holographic paper, I find that using the photo paper glossy works best for me, but definitely do some trial testing like prints just to see what works good for you. I change my standard from quality to high, and then I always make sure color is selected. Then I go under my more options and I choose high speed print. I want to turn that off. I turn that off because that's what causes the lines in your images, because your printer is trying to go really fast and get it done, and that's causing those lines. So to remove those lines, go ahead and turn off that high speed print. Now, if you don't have all these settings, make sure that your printer drivers are installed correctly. If you're not getting these settings, that's usually the problem. So just head to your printer manufacturer's website and you can download your drivers. Then I'm going to go ahead and click OK and click print to send it to the printer. We're going to load in our holographic stickers. So the first machine we're going to use is the Maker 3 to test this. Then I'm going to use the Explorer 3, and then we're going to do it with the Joy Extra. I want to see which one of these is going to perform better with this holographic sticker paper. I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with you. Now before I take this off the mat, I am going to just double check the cut. I cut these on the medium cardstock setting, and I don't think they cut through all of them, which kind of a pain. That's okay. All you have to do is just hit this button again, this little play button, and it'll let you cut them again. And from what I have heard, you do the same thing too. I'm going to check the cut one more time just to make sure. It looks like that one did a lot better, so that's fine. No big deal, that happens. It looks like it cut around them really, really nice with no issues whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these off of this mat, and then I'm going to get my Explorer 3 out, and we're going to cut these with that one. We're going to do this with the Explorer 3, so I'm going to load my mat. This is going to go ahead and read those lines, and cut out our stickers. I just want to see how the Explorer 3 does with some holographic stickers. As always, before I take it off of the mat, I'm going to check the cut. I still got that same sticker that didn't want to cut all the way through. This one cut better, but still not all the way through, so I think I want to maybe run it through again. Let me just see. Oh, no, I think it's okay. I think I'll just pop them all out. That's fine. The other one wouldn't pop out, but these ones I think that didn't fully cut, like they are cut, they're just not letting go completely, and that's okay. That happens. So I'm going to go ahead and get these off the mat, and I'm going to keep all the stickers separate because I just want to kind of compare them. So I'm going to get these ones off the mat, and then we're going to get our Cricut Joy Extra. Now we've got our Joy. I'm gonna go ahead and load this one. And just so you know, the reason that I want to compare these machines is because the Joy and the Explorer, they say that it works best with white paper, but obviously this is very not white paper, so I'm excited to see how it does. Now that this one's done cutting, let's check that cut setting and see how this one did. Woo! This one did not do good. This didn't even cut through the stickers, and I used the medium cardstock setting. Here's what's awful about this machine. It didn't cut through the backing, so I can't recut the stickers. The only option is to unload, so I just want to see if it cut actually like even through the sticker, and I can peel it off the backing. It looks like it actually cut through the backing fine, so no big deal. It just won't be the die cut stickers that I wanted. Now, isn't that funny how on the same setting, all three machines cut so differently, and they've all been used about the same amount. So it's just interesting to me how that makes such a big difference. I'm gonna go ahead and get these kind of set up and show you what they all look like. Making these stickers with Canva was really easy and really fun, and there are literally hundreds of thousands of designs that you can choose from Canva for free that you can use to make your own stickers, but you have tons more if you have Canva Pro. I really love Canva and I use it for all sorts of things, and this was really a fun way to test the different machines. They were all calibrated at the same time, but you can see that the Maker 3 on the left didn't cut nearly as evenly as the Explorer 3 on the right, but I still think they did an okay job. The fact that I had to load it twice wasn't my favorite with the Maker 3, and the Explorer 3 didn't cut all the way through, but I still think it did a really good job. These stickers are super cute, and you can find tons in a theme that you're looking for on Canva, so I highly recommend checking it out. There's lots of ways that you can use Canva with your Cricut. Now, my one complaint with the Joy Extra is that you can't just automatically recut your product without having to unload, and it will never cut on the same lines again. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure you're subscribed here, that way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.